And Dan Rutherford is an executive with Service Master of International Home and Commercial Service Company and a veteran state lawmaker. He was first elected to the Illinois Senate in 2002, following a 10-year term in the House of Representatives where he served as Assistant Republican Leader. He was lead sponsor of legislation that changed the formula for reimbursing nursing homes, assuring that patient care, not geography, determined the rate. He also is a go-to person for agriculture interests, sponsoring legislation to promote soy and ethanol products. After joining Service Master, he became responsible for the expansion of the company's businesses internationally, licensing services in 16 different countries. Outside the office, he enjoys traveling. He has visited every continent except one, I think. Is that true? Okay. And he enjoys backpacking, camping, skydiving, and scuba diving, and he is also a conservationist who has planted more than 16,000 trees and shrubs at his rural home. Please welcome Dan Rutherford.
Thank you all very much. I appreciate the opportunity to be with you, Kristen, for taking on the role to moderate this. You know, I've had the good fortune to be a speaker for the Southland Chamber a number of times when you come to visit in Springfield, and I have been your luncheon speaker and received the groups when you're there. I want to also acknowledge the elected officials that are here for taking time out. Those are candidates for office. It's a tough go, we all know that. But I want to take a special moment to acknowledge one person, that's Kristen McQueary. Besides being the leader of a chamber of the General Assembly, she's also the first woman to ever be elected to lead one of the caucus in the entire General Assembly. So I mean, history was made in Illinois when Kristen was elected. She's not too far from your area here, so congratulations to you, Republican leader. Kristen kind of gave the background of where I'm from and so forth, but I'm from a little small town, central Illinois, Pontiac, and I did go to school at Illinois State University. And I know we had a lot of good Bradley ISU basketball competition going up and down 74 there. I've been in the legislature 18 years, and a part of the portfolio that Kristen talked about, though, was something that probably doesn't get a lot of headlines or big splashes. It's kind of technical and doesn't really cause the sizzle, but that's nursing homes. It took me over 3 years working in the Illinois General Assembly, and then when I went to the Senate with my colleagues in the Senate, to pass a funding formula so that when our elderly or those that are in need go to a nursing home, the reimbursement rate for Medicaid is based on a formula about their health care. The more health care they need, the more it costs to tend to them. It took us 3 years to do that. And that I give you that as an example of the type of passion that I have for good public policy. It doesn't have to be the headline for the moment. It doesn't have to be the one that's going to get you on Channel 7 or Telemundo, but it's the one that's really going to help and affect the lives of people. The other side of Dan Rutherford is I'm a businessman. I'm not a career politician. I've got a real job. I got a real job in the real world. I have been now for 25 years, and I'm still with a company called Service Master. And you may recognize some of our company portfolio names, such as Terminex, True Green, Chemelon, Mary Mays, American Home Shield, those types of companies, and I've been with them that long. And the reason I tell you that is because I think that one is a better public servant, and particularly an executive, if they come from and have private sector experience. And when you start to look at whether you should grow new programs in government or whether you should look at expanding something in government, you look at it from an analysis of a business guy and say, do we have the resources that give us the returns that are best for the taxpayers? And that's the type of approach I intend to take to the Treasurer's Office. And she did mention to you, about a little about my personal life. I like scuba diving and stuff, but she didn't tell you that my favorite food is pizza. So, and the wonderful lunch you served here, I'll tell you, they got more things and plates on that table as far as quantity than most lunches that we go to. As far as the Treasurer's Office, I sense there is a fundamental difference on how we each view what that office should be. The Treasurer's Office was created by the Constitution, set up in direction by statute to be the officer that's responsible for investments in the most secure way possible for the highest return possible. And other things that have come to that office, in a sense, are good, but my point is, do we need those today? When we're looking at a state budget that is $13 billion in deficit, what expansion of government should we be doing and what should we not be doing? I don't believe we need any new programs in government today. I don't believe we need any new offices for government today. I don't believe that we need to have those types of things expansion. They need to be monitored and looked at. I'll tell you what, when I become the treasurer, I will be having, and this is important, so write it down. There was a young lady here that said she's going to write stuff down. Write it down, and when I come back, I intend to have weekly meetings with my staff to review the portfolio performances. We don't need to have a program that loses millions and millions and millions and millions and billions of dollars. And yes, maybe we went in and tried to fix it, but we should never have gotten to that point. So weekly meetings with your portfolio people to analyze and see where we are so we don't get too far down that road. The other thing is I intend to do a performance audit when I go in as the treasurer of Illinois. I want to look at programs such as the linked deposit program. Is the linked deposit program doing what it really should be doing? Is it giving the best return for the taxpayers of Illinois in the safest way possible? Again, the fundamental as to why the treasurer's office exists. Those are the type of things I intend to do. And the other thing, quite candidly, and I know that it was discussed in some public forums here in the area, I'm going to close 6 offices of the Illinois State Treasury. There are 6 satellite offices that have been opened by the treasurer. And I understand that maybe 4 of them are in state government buildings and no rent's being paid, but they still cost money. And to open a new office on January 18th in Collinsville, Illinois, 3 weeks before we close a fiscal year budget with $13 billion in arrear, I don't think is the best use of state taxpayer dollars. And it's those kind of tough love things that need to be said in our government today. There's great programs out there, and all of my legislative colleagues here, understand that, and the mayors and all of them. There's great programs. We had enough basket of money to give everybody everything. We do lots of stuff. And going out and creating new programs and new offices is not what government needs to be doing today. We need some tough love in Springfield. We need somebody to use that dirty word, that really dirty word that Springfield doesn't like, and that's no. And when I'm the treasurer of Illinois, I intend to use the bully pulpit. There are 6 people that are constitutionals in the state of Illinois. 6 people have that microphone when the time comes to be able to articulate and talk about what's really going on. Now, we've got the great leadership of our General Assembly, but you only got 6 people. So when the time comes, and we're looking at gross receipts tax to be levied in the state of Illinois, we're looking to put a tax on services in the state of Illinois, we're looking to do an expansion of greater debt in the state of Illinois, it is the responsibility of the financial officers to stand up and do the tough love and use that dirty word of no. Comptroller Hines has done that. I respect Comptroller Hines for standing up and doing that. So I look forward to our questions today, and in closing, it's not going to be an easy time for the next treasurer. And it is someone I think you need to have some business experience to be there. Thank you for the opportunity to be with you today.